Good morning you guys, it's Karen and I'm here to review this NIOD Flavanone mud. I have used this about 3 times. Yeah, not about, I've used it 3 times. I used it when I got it and it stung my skin and it gave me a little bit of dry skin around here. And so I stopped using it for a while because I was using other products that could have caused that, and I wanted to kind of be aware what was causing what side effect, if you like. So I've used it again a couple of times in the last week, and so at the moment I'm only really using the 0.2% retinol, and I kind of know how my face reacts to that, which is fine. It doesn't peel or no dry skin and no stinging, that kind of thing. But it still totals I've only used it 3 times. And the reason I'm telling you that is because there is a lot of reviews out there where people have used it 4 to 5 times and then they've seen a difference in their skin. So it could take longer, but I'm not going to use it all over my face again. And I'll talk about that as we go on. The website and the description of this, I normally, as you know, read through kind of the claims and the description and see how much of that is true, but honestly it's another one of those where it's just a lot of jargon. There's a lot of words. It's a couple of pages long. It's probably that long for each phase because this is a 3-phase mask. It's not, you don't use it in 3 phases, but there's 3 different elements to it, 3 different things it does. So I'm just going to give you the summary, and that is basically that this is, like I said, a 3-phase mask. The first phase is said to remove all oil and deep down impurities, any liquids, to remove everything from your face, and it's said to be much more deep cleansing than any other mask. The second phase is said to shield against build-up or environmental build-up. There are certain things there that protect and prevent a build-up. And then the third phase is that it fights congestion. There's so much more to this mask than that. There's a lot of technologies, if you like, but with kind of earthy natural ingredients as well. So I would suggest, if you really want to know the nitty-gritty, that all of the information is there on the NIOD website, but I would kind of need a dictionary next to me if I was to understand all of the ingredients and all of the technology. And I feel like I have a certain amount of trust in NIOD that the ingredients are not going to be anything that would damage my skin, although I have one question mark over that. But it's a lot of information, and I wish they had have condensed it a little bit themselves. So let me show you what it looks like and tell you kind of about it. It is £29 for this bottle. It's in, the typical kind of pill bottle formation, which you guys know I don't like. I think a lot of people don't like, because yes, you can buy a spoon to take it out, but I'm using a cotton bud, as you can see, because if I was using a spoon I'd then have to wash the spoon, and that just seems like too much work to me. So I tend to not so much with this, because I haven't used that much. You don't need to use much of this at all, but with like the hydration vaccine, I'll just slam it to get some towards the end. I don't know whether that would even work with this. Let's see, I don't think it would. I think it's too thick a product. Yeah, it's too thick a product. So you are going to need to use a cotton bud or something. I would say that this will last a long time. So the £29 price tag, I think is really good, because you literally need the tiniest layer. That's probably even too thick. The idea with this is that you use a very, very thin layer and you still get the same deep cleansing as you would with other masks where you need to leave on a thick layer. That's one big difference with this. I don't like the smell at all, but I've read reviews of people that don't mind it, that don't even notice it. So I don't know what's going on there. I think it's really, really strong. It smells like smoky bacon, but not like really smoky bacon. It's definitely a smoky type of smell, and so I don't love the smell, but I don't hate it. It seems to be bothering me the more I use it, actually, so it might end up where I'm just like, oh no, I can't stand the smell. You can see that that has dried instantly. It dries really, really quickly. So you put a very thin layer on your face once a week onto dry skin, so you don't need to wet your face first. Put it on dry skin, very, very thin layer, after removing all your makeup, etc. Of course, the ingredients, as I mentioned, are just a long list of names that I have never heard of, and I could have sat and googled every single word and everything in the description, but it would have taken an awful long time and may not have even, can you imagine how long the video would be if I was explaining to you what 20 ingredients were? But I can't see anything there that I have any issue with out of the ingredients that I do know. The first 2 ingredients are clay, and the second ingredient the second clay that they use is kaolin, which is what you would find in most face masks, but the one before that is, I think it was Monterlimonite or something like that. I am definitely not saying that right, but it sounds really good. A really interesting clay. I suspect that's the red clay. And that's about as far as much as I can tell you with the ingredients. Oh, I noticed it has resveratrol in it as well, which is a really good thing. The issue that I mentioned to you is just that it says it's a pH 7 to 8, and I generally wouldn't want to use something that was above a pH of 7. You know, pH of 7 is water, and you guys know I try to I don't use water every day to cleanse my face. My skin definitely feels better when I don't use water. And so the fact that it's 7 to 8, and with it being the colour it is, I can't test the pH. I don't have the right equipment to test the pH on this. And certainly if it was 8, it's not really something I'd want to be using on my skin. It's not a huge issue. As I've mentioned with the Sanskrit saponins, that also has a higher pH than I would like. But you can pH adjust afterwards. You know, you could use a pH adjusting toner afterwards. But for me, if I was using, say, the Sanskrit saponins every day and then using this once a week, I would just worry about stripping my skin and making the balance of oils out of balance. Yeah, that would be my concern, that I would, you know, unbalance my skin, because it's taken me a long time to get to a place where I don't have acne, and although a lot of that is to do with medication, I do feel like there's an element of skincare in there, of course. So in terms of what this will actually do for your skin, it doesn't actually say much about it. It talks about respecting the skin's integrity but giving visible skin radiance, I think it says. But I think the idea is that it will just thoroughly decongest your skin, take away anything that's sitting in the pores. And I think the things that you'll find results with are pores, blocked pores, whiteheads, blackheads, little tiny bumps, things like that. And I say this from reading a lot of the reviews, that people have had some pretty miraculous results with this. And there is a way, apparently it's suggested, somebody said Sephora it was suggested on, but it seems to be talked a lot about out there, using this as a kind of accelerated purge, I think they're calling it, whether you use it 5 nights a week. I can't even imagine using it that much. But that people have had wonderful results with that. I would say if you have acne, this would be a great product, and I would definitely buy this if I had acne, because it really is. I would probably use this in the Sanskrit saponins. Even though I'm saying about the pH, I would pH adjust afterwards, because they are really deep cleansing, and that's what you want. You want to have super clean skin, ready to properly absorb anything you put on it, any actives or treatments you're going to put on it. You want to have super clean skin for that. The reviews seem to be mostly positive, other than people have had peeling with their skin. I didn't get any peeling using it twice this week, but I had thought, remember I said I thought I'd got peeling from it around here, but I don't think it was this. I think it was, I can't remember, I think it was another product I was using. But it wouldn't surprise me if you got peeling, because it's a pretty powerful mask. I would say this is the most powerful mask I've ever used. So, like I said, the reviews seem to be mostly positive, with some people experiencing stinging. And then there's another smaller group of people that haven't experienced any stinging, tingling, anything from it at all, and don't seem to think that it's worth the money. So what's my experience with it? Well, the first time I put it on, I couldn't keep it on for the 10 minutes that it says you should keep it on for. You should put on this thin layer and leave it for 10 minutes. And it does say that it may cause stinging whilst on, and that it will continue to sting when you remove it. I couldn't keep it on for the 10 minutes. I think I kept it on for about 5 minutes and was like, I've got to get this off my face. Feels like my face is on fire. So I rinsed it off and my skin continued to sting. And it was quite uncomfortable to the point of I'm not sure if I want to use this again. But like I said, because my skin was a little bit dry and sort of flaky around my eyes the following day, I didn't use it for quite some weeks, and it's only this week I've used it again. And so this week I thought, right, let me see if I can get it to last for 10 minutes. And I've used it twice, and neither time could I get to 10 minutes. It's just too uncomfortable on my skin, and it's worse afterwards for me. Like, I remove it, and the first time it literally felt like my skin was on fire. The interesting thing is my face wasn't bright red. My face didn't look irritated, it just felt irritated. And in fact, I was using that copper serum that I've been liking from Sensora. I was using that on my face. It was the only thing that I was just like, oh my goodness, what can I put on my face? I actually felt like putting ice packs on it. It was so stingy. It was like it was burnt. And I'm learning between this and the derma roller, that was the thing. I think that's what it was I had done by my eyes, and I thought, well, it could be that. So if I'm going to use derma roller, don't use this. I think that might have been it. But you know, I'm learning from the derma roller and this. Maybe I don't have a high pain tolerance, but definitely very uncomfortable for me. It was mostly stinging around kind of my cheeks and eyes, around this area and by my nose there. It didn't sting on my forehead and it didn't sting on my chin. So I am going to continue to use this, and I'm going to use it on my chin because I didn't specifically take pictures, but I think I might now. But looking close up, do you remember I have those tiny little white spots, the tiny, tiny whiteheads in my chin, kind of in the crease or dimple of my chin. And they're not milia, they are just tiny whiteheads. And do you remember I tried salicylic acid on them? It didn't do anything. I tried azelaic acid, it didn't do anything. I think there might have been a very slight difference with one of those. My next plan was maybe to try retinoid, but actually with this, I think this would be a good thing to use, and I can see how it might well work on that. And looking closely, I'm like, it actually looks to me like there's fewer whiteheads than there was before. So I'll take a picture today, continue to use this at least once a week, because I don't mind on my chin. It's not stingy at all. I put it on my neck as well, by the way, and it was stingy. I put it on my neck before I got this irritation, just saying. I might even try the 5-day purge that everybody's talking about and put it on my skin every night for 5 days and see what happens. So like I said, I'll take a picture and I will come back and do an update for you. Let us know how you found it. Have you found it to sting as much as I have? Clearly my neck is sensitive because this is a very low dose retinol that's caused this irritation, but my facial skin is not normally that sensitive, so I was surprised at how much it did sting. And it's one of those things that if it was just, if I could dial it down just a little bit and put something on afterwards to stop the stinging, then I maybe would persevere with it. But it was the fact that the stinging went on and on for me. It lasted probably about half an hour afterwards. I mean, I'm sure I could figure something out. Anyway, let us know what you think. That's everything I've got to tell you about it. I will link it for you, of course. I'll also list all of my makeup in the description, and I will speak to you again soon.